Hey, how you guys doing out there today? This is Stefan Jimenez from the Roto Beast team, and I'm here to present you our NBA picks for Friday, November 24th. As always, if you want to watch our full videos for NBA and NFL, please make sure and come subscribe to our YouTube channel, and make sure and click the subscribe button because these videos are definitely going to help you win a lot of money. And if you want to play the actual lineups that we're playing every single day, please visit our website at www.rotobeast.net. So let's jump into this slate. I'm going to go through it quickly. We got a 9-game slate. There's some really good spots on this slate. I think the top game to target is going to be the Pelicans versus the Suns. This game has the highest implied total of 231, and New Orleans is projected by 6.5. Then I like I like Charlotte versus Cleveland. This was a competitive game last time they played. It has a second highest implied total of 221. And Cleveland's favored by -5. Then we got the Raptors at the Pacers. This game has the third highest implied total at 215 projected points to be scored, and Toronto's favored by 2. Then we got the Warriors. This game has the fourth highest implied total of 214. The problem with this game is the Warriors are favored by 18 points. So Vegas is expecting this to be a blowout and to be a blowout quick. And the last game I'm going to be targeting is going to be Orlando Magic versus Boston. Boston finally got their streak snapped. They're at home against the Magic, who's an up-tempo team. The Celtics. This game has a 209 implied total, which is the fifth highest on the slate, and Boston's favored by 7.5. So let's just jump into the picks. Before I get started, I'm just going to quickly tell you my top teams I'm going to be targeting is going to be the Pelicans, the Warriors, the Cavs, the Suns, the Raptors, and then the Boston Celtics. So I think the top point guard on the slate is Stephen Curry. I know this team is favored by 18 points. I understand that. But you know what? I mean, look at this dude. I mean, he's been playing only 3 quarters almost every single game all season, and he's still getting us in the mid 40s. He's averaging 45 fantasy points a game. At a 10,000 price tag, his price actually has went up a little bit. We need about 50 for fantasy value. And I think he can get us close to 50. He's probably going to get us, 43-ish, 42, 43, somewhere around there. But Curry is the top point guard on the slate. Then we got Kyrie Irving in an up-tempo game against the Magic. I mean, this guy's just been good. Plain and simple, at an 8,500 price tag, we need about 42 from him. He's averaging 38 fantasy points a game so far this year. The 42 is, in my opinion, a tough number for him to hit. I mean, it's not something that he's really been at regularly lately. Although, I mean, he has had a 60 against Dallas and he's had a 42. So he's been close, a couple times. But this 37, 36, 36, I think that's pretty close to what you can expect from him tonight and on a nightly basis. I think this is kind of where his fantasy value lies, regularly. But he's a great play tonight in an up-tempo game against the Magics. Then we got Kemba. He usually plays better at home. He had a pretty good game last time he faced Cleveland. He played 39 minutes. He got 20 points, 5 rebounds, 7 assists for 30 fantasy points. I mean, it wasn't the absolute best game, but, I mean, it didn't really hurt you. At an 8.2 price tag, we need about 41 from him. As long as this game stays close, I think he has a great chance to get 41 and get really close to it. He's averaging about 37 fantasy points a game so far this season. And like I said, I do think this game's going to be close, and I do like Kemba Walker. Then we got Rondo, 5,500. We need 27 from him. They're still working him back. That's the thing about Rondo. They're working him back into the rotation. He's not getting these massive minutes yet, but I mean, he's still hitting 20 in 4 straight games. We need, 27. If they bump up his minutes a couple minutes, say even to 27, 28 minutes today against the Suns, who is a very fast-paced team, so they get a pace bump. Rondo looks like a very solid cash game play today. Last guy I'm going to talk about, Ulis on the other side of the ball being guarded by Rondo. Rondo's a really good player, but one thing about Rondo is he sucks at defense. Plain and simple, he's not very good. Ulis, 4.4 price tag. You need about, what, 22 from him. And he's been getting pretty close. The past 4 games, he got you a 20, a 29, a 14, which is kind of a dud, and then he got a little bit of a this can't. He got 31 minutes, but it went to overtime. So he's really averaging about 26 or 28 minutes a game. He got you 27 right here. I like him today going against Rondo, who can't play defense at all. He can. The problem with him is the guy doesn't score. When he scores, he does good. Perfect example. He put 12. He got 27. He put 15. He got 29. But then you got the 3 points, only 13. 2 points, only 15. 2 points, only 17. So this guy is dependent if he feels like he can score that night. If he can get us these 7 points that he averages, plus his assists have been up since he started at the point guard position. He's getting us some extra rebounds. These are kind of mixed numbers because he was coming off the bench earlier in the year and he barely started starting. So I do like him on the cheaper end. And we'll go shooting guard, DeMar DeRozan against Indiana in an up-tempo game. When he needs to, they play him a lot of minutes. This guy's just a baller, plain simple. He scores. Him and Oladipo, I think, are going to go back and forth, exchanging buckets. I do really like DeMar DeRozan tonight. I do think he's more of a GPP play just because I feel his price tag is kind of high. You need about 45 for him to hit value. I think he's going to get you, in the high 30s. I don't know if he's going to break the 40 mark today. But he has a chance to break the 40 mark any day. He's averaging 25 25 scoring points a game. Almost 5 rebounds and almost 5 assists. So he's a really good play at shooting guard. Then we got Booker. This guy, he's just good. Plain and simple, I like this guy. I can't believe this guy didn't start in college. He's a baller. The guy's averaging 35 fantasy points a game. At his price tag, we need 36. So, we're right there at his average. I really like this guy in the up-tempo game. Going against the Pelicans. One thing I will note is he's going to be going back and forth with Jrue Holiday. Jrue Holiday actually has really good defense. Jrue Holiday is not somebody I really like targeting, players against. But Booker, he's kind of in his own class. The guy's a scorer. He's really good. He fills up the stat sheet. I think he's a really good play today in the highest implied total game on the slate. We got Klay. Klay's always in play. He's, in my opinion, he's always more of a GPP play. He's not really a cash game play any night, especially in this game where they're favored by 18. Klay's one of those guys. He gets a little bit more minutes than the other guys usually because he plays that beginning of the fourth quarter stretch, so he gets extra garbage time. But he hasn't had too many massive games this year. He's hit 40 a couple times. At a 6.9 price tag, we need about 34 for value. I think he has a chance to get 34. He's going to get close, but in reality, I think he's going to get more close to about 30, 20 to 30 fantasy points. But he has that upside any game to get 23 regular scoring points in a game. And so that, does make him intriguing in GPP. So you got to, definitely take a look at Klay Thompson. We got Jrue Holiday. In the highest implied total slate of the game, up tempo. His minutes have come down a little bit. In 2 of the past 3 games, he's only played a 27 and a 29. But before that, he was locked into 36, 43, 34, 42, 41, 38. He has a little outliers. So I'm not really going to look too much into it. At a 6.4 price tag, we need about 32 from him. And against the Suns, who play a really, really fast-paced game, and they're favored to win, I think he's going to at least hit 30 fantasy points, which is pretty much his average on the season. I like Jrue Holiday today, and I feel his price is very fair. Last guy I'm going to talk about at shooting guard is going to be Jeremy Lamb. Nick Batum is out. He went back into the starting lineup. This guy is one of those guys where when he gets minutes, he puts points up. Even when he doesn't get minutes, he still puts points up. 20, 22, 23 minutes. He's barely playing an average about 21 and a half, 22 minutes in these 3 games. And he was still getting 28, 27, 28. He's just a scorer, and he fills up the stat sheet. Batum was out last game. He played 37 minutes, and he got us almost 48 fantasy points. This dude has 50-point upside. And against the Cavs today, who struggle against the guard position, I really like Lamb today. I think he's a really, really good cash game play, and I'm probably going to end up locking him in. Now we'll move on to small forward. You got LeBron at home against Charlotte, which should be a pretty good game. 4 games ago or 3, he played Charlotte, and he went off for 56 fantasy points. At his 11.9 price tag, we need about 58 from him, 59 from him. In this game, it's projected to stay pretty close. It has the second highest implied total on the slate. So I definitely think LeBron is a really good play today. I don't really see them blowing out Charlotte. I mean, it could definitely happen, but I don't see it. I think LeBron's going to get those high, 30 minutes, into the low 40s. So he's, definitely one of the top small forwards on the slate today. We got Kevin Durant, 10-5. I mean, I like Kevin Durant. I personally would try to pay up a little bit more for LeBron just because I feel like LeBron has a higher floor. Not necessarily a higher ceiling, but a higher floor in this game. I mean, KD he isn't having to do everything, for the Warriors compared to LeBron. He's having to do everything for the Cavs. So his fantasy points are all over the place. For his price tag, we need about 53 from him. And I mean, he hasn't hit 53 in it's been a long time since way early in the season, October 27th. He's been in the mid 40s, high 30s, and that scares me on his price tag. I think all the Warriors are more of a GPP play. The only guy I would even consider in cash a little bit is Curry, just because he runs the offense, so he gets his, and he's getting easily into the 40s regularly. Compared to Kevin Durant, this guy's good. He has just as much upside as anybody. Don't get me wrong. He's just not getting there, and his price keeps climbing. That's the problem with him. Next, we got T.J. Warren, 7.6. His price tag's up there, but he's getting consistent minutes. He's putting up fantasy points like crazy. He's averaging 32 fantasy points a game right now. In the past 2 games, he's eclipsed the 40 mark. At his price, we need about 37 in an up-tempo game against the Pelicans. I think this guy's a really, really good play. His price is a little bit higher than I would like, but we can't do nothing about the price. He's getting his defensive stats as well. Plus, he's scoring the ball. So, T.J. Warren is a really good play today. We got Jaylen Brown for the Celtics. The young guy's just been good. He's playing, 30 minutes a game. He's locked into that. He's not really getting out of that 30-minute mark. He's averaging 28 fantasy points a game this season. At a 6.7 price tag, we need about 33. I think he could definitely get there and get very close to it. In the past 4 games, he has 33, 3 of the past 4 games. I like Jaylen Brown. He's a really, really good play. The guy's filling up the stat sheet. He's getting, the defensive stats, what you want. He's just been consistent, and consistency is what you want in fantasy sports. The last guy I want to talk about, 5,100. You need 25 for him. Michael Kidd-Gilchrist. I always talk about this guy, and he hasn't really done nothing crazy for us, but he's a guy with massive upside. This guy fills up the stat sheet. Last time he played Cleveland, a couple games ago, he went off for 22 points, 6 rebounds, 2 blocks, and 2 steals, equaled 41 fantasy points for us. He definitely has 40 fantasy point upside. His price tag would need about 25. And I think he's going to get very close to that today. It just pretty much depends on if his shot's going down or not. The last game his shot was going down and he scored 22 points. So, I really like him. He's definitely a solid play today. Go over to the power forward, Anthony Davis. Anytime he's on the slate, he's going to be one of the top plays. He's averaging 51 fantasy points a game. At an 11.3 price tag, we're looking for about 56 out of him. I definitely think he has a really, really good chance to get 56 today. This game has the highest supply total. It's the fastest paced game on the slate. Who's the Suns gonna put on? Marquise Chris. The young guy's just gonna get in foul trouble against Anthony Davis. The Suns have nobody that could guard him. He's a top power forward, no doubt, in my opinion, on this slate. We got Draymond, price climbing a little bit, but mean, the guy has a chance to get a triple-double any night. He's averaging 34 fantasy points for us, 7.9 price tag. We're looking for about 39 from him. I think he could get there, but I don't think it's like a lock for 39. The minutes, they've been up a little bit the past couple games. He's been in the 30s in 6 straight, but before that, we got a lot of 27, 27, 26, 26, 29. So the minutes are kind of depends on how this game goes. But Golden State's favored by 18 points, so I think this guy can get out the game early. That's what scares me. But Draymond's a walking triple double. Any night he has a chance to get one. Then we will go down a little bit to this young guy, Collins. The last 2 games, he's played 36 and 37 minutes. This guy's a fantasy point per minute monster. So he's played 37, 36, 5.7 price tag. We need about 32 from him. In the past 2 games since he's got his minutes, he had 40 fantasy points and 36 fantasy points. I like him. I like him a lot. If he's going to start again today, I think he's almost a lock for cash games. He's going to be high owned. The young guy's good, and I definitely think he's a really good play at power forward. The last guy I'm going to talk about, 2 more guys. Marcus Morris for the Celtics. Thing about him I don't like is he's not playing crazy minutes. He's only playing 22 to 26 minutes a game, which scares me a little bit. But, he's been very consistent. He's averaging 24 fantasy points a game. At 4.9, we need about 24. So, he's getting there. He's getting very close, if not getting there almost every night. He's locked in for, I think, a floor, I would say, of about at least 20 fantasy points. His ceiling, I would say, is probably about 35. But, I really like him. He's a really good player against the up-tempo game, against the Magics. And he's a very fair price. And the last guy I'm talking, this guy's more of a straight GPP, 4.4. Crowder, he's locked in. He's playing about 26 to 28 minutes a game. He's not getting us nothing special, but 22, 24. I think this guy, honestly, his floor is probably about this 16 to 18 fantasy points. And at his 4.4 price tag, we need about 23. So, like I said, I think he's a straight GPP play, in my opinion. But I like him on the lower end, as a flyer to kind of help you fit some other big names in. Lastly, we'll finish off with center. DeMarcus Cousins in Phoenix, highest total game on the slate. Boogie's averaging 55 fantasy points a game. I think this is a superior matchup for him. They're going to try to throw Tyson Chandler at him. Probably going to get in foul trouble. They're going to try to throw Lynn at him. He's probably going to get in foul trouble. Then they're going to try to throw Greg Monroe at him. So they have big bodies to put on Cousins. But Cousins is his own breed. Cousins gets his regardless. He's the best center in the game. He shoots 3-pointers, with pretty consistency. He gets his defensive stats. He's clearly the top play. There's nothing else really to say about it. Next, we will talk about Marc Gasol going into Denver. One thing I will say is I don't like targeting people going into Denver. The altitude does mess with a lot of people, so it does scare me a little bit. But Marc Gasol has been pretty good. He showed us a couple games ago 71-point upside. He's doing a lot more now that Mike Conley is out of the picture. He's been hurt. He's playing mid 30 minutes. At an 8.5 price tag, we need about 42 from him. And I definitely think he can get close to 42. He's averaging almost 40 fantasy points a game. So he is a really good play at center. Then we got Kevin Love. This guy, I don't know. I don't know what to do with Kevin Love. It's like sometimes he plays 30 minutes, 32 minutes, 33 minutes. Sometimes he plays 25 minutes, 26 minutes. And it's really frustrating. Last time we played the Charlotte, he only played 27 minutes, but he still had a really good game. Scored 22 points, 10 rebounds, got us 38 fantasy points. At a 7.9 price tag, we need about 38, pretty much right where he got us. So, he's a fair play. It just depends on the minutes if he's going to get him or not. One thing I will say is he's going to be guarded by Dwight Howard, which is a tough matchup for Kevin Love. But Dwight Howard doesn't step out to a 3-point line, so Kevin Love's going to get some open 3-point opportunities if he can knock down his shots. He can definitely have a solid game today at home. In the second highest implied total slate of the day, we got Al Horford. This dude, in my opinion, he's just Mr. Consistent. I mean, his floor is probably about 25 per game. He's averaging 33 fantasy points, 6.9 price tag. We need about 34 from him. One thing I will say is that I really like targeting centers versus Vucevic for the Magic. So he's a great offensive player, but he's an absolute horrible defensive player. Horford, he hasn't been scoring the past couple games. I could definitely see him getting right here today just because Vucevic plays zero defense. So, hey, Horford, he's a really good play, and he's a very fair price tag as well. Last guy I'll talk about, more of a GPP play, Jonas Valanciunas. 4.5 price tag. So we're looking at about 22 from him. He's averaging about 21. The thing about him is the minutes. The minutes are up and down, up and down. I played this dude the very first game of the season, and he went off. He got me 49 fantasy points, and I haven't played him since then. I'm kind of looking at him a little bit, go back to the well a little bit as a GPP play, though, not as a cash game play, just because, he's so volatile. The minutes are everywhere. He is a good play. I do like him on cheaper end for GPP. So, hey, that's where I'm at for my picks for today. If I didn't mention somebody that you like, or you want to talk a little bit more about somebody, please make sure to leave a comment below. Please make sure and subscribe to our video, and make sure to click the like button. And hey, let's win some money. I'll be back tomorrow. Later.